Welcome back to UFC Now. It is time for our top 5 segment. Earlier in the show, we talked about Anthony Pettis. Well, he has a younger brother, Sergio, who competes in the bantamweight division. We also talked about Nate Diaz, and we know about his brother, Nick, of course. So this week, we are going to have these two break down their top 5, and it's going to be top 5 brothers in the UFC. Kenny, you're up first.
All right, let's do this. There's Jim Miller. There's his brother, Dan Miller. These two gentlemen from New Jersey, very tough guys, have done very well in the UFC and have competed at the same time. And I think they've even competed on the same card together, so that's pretty cool. You guys know who those guys are. The Shamrock brothers, Ken and Frank, some of the pioneers in this sport, have competed all over the world and, of course, had successful careers in the UFC, were involved in some of the biggest fights early on. And there's Sergio and Anthony right there. Anthony Pettis, of course, the champ at 155 pounds, and Sergio really finding a great groove right now at 135 pounds. I see big things for him in his future. TJ Dillashaw, of course, may have something to say about that. But they're the little nog and big nog. These guys are, true legends of the sport. These guys, again, have been competing all over the world. Jiu-jitsu legends and now true MMA legends for sure. And Nick and Nate Diaz, they've been involved in some of the biggest fights in recent UFC history. Two very game opponents all the time, two southpaws, two very tricky fighters on the mat as well, and very memorable fighters as well.
Very memorable.
Yes.
You can't have a
Polarizing figures.
You can't have a list of top 5 brothers and not have Nick and Nate on it.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Probably number 1. What about you, TJ? Let's see your list.
I'm pretty sure you copied me. I think you were looking off of my list and copying my answers.
Think alike, TJ.
But one thing I got different is Jake and Joe Ellenberger. Great guys.
Nice.
Train with them both. Real impressive with what Joe Ellenberger's been able to do with his life with what he had going on with him. And then I got Ken and Frank Shamrock, like you said, pioneers of the sport. I've been around forever. I've been a big fan of them. Used to watch them when I was a kid. Also watched them wrestle some WWE, so I've been a fan of them for a while, After these guys, we got Anthony and Sergio Pettis. Big fan of both these guys. Obviously Anthony's champion of the world, looking awesome. Sergio, I've went and trained with both these guys and just as good. Just got to make his breakthrough. He's such a young kid and going to do great things as well. I got Big and Little Nog.
Wow.
Yeah, I have them in the exact same order as you actually.
That's pretty easy on our graphic.
The last time it was, the last
Very
show
close,
we did together, yeah.
But again, these guys are just legends in the jiu-jitsu world and in MMA. And then my favorite fighters of all time, Nick and Nate Diaz. Just love the way these guys throw down, bring true emotion to the cage, and I've been fans of them and trained super close to me. They're from 209, where I grew up, and then also I didn't grow up in Stockton, but I have the 209 area code.
Nice.
Okay, but they come and train with us all the time in Sacramento, and just have been big fans of them always.
Cool.
So
Great minds think alike. And also making news recently, John Jones' younger brother Chandler. They were talking about maybe doing a fight for charity. The Patriots, so he's a defensive end for them. He came in and squashed that. They didn't really, not sure why they wouldn't want him. But who do you think would win? Let me ask you that, Kenny. Between the two.
Let me see. Maybe John Jones. Maybe no. John Jones would make quick work, I assume. Of
I think we should change
Chandler.
the rules up. It should be like a fighting football game.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Like, they switch it up. They play football in the next round. Or something. Yeah, something like that.
And coming up next is our social media segment, Rapid Fire. Now, you guys send in your questions to @UFC_now to TJ and Kenny. Now, find out if your question got selected. Don't go anywhere.